fantastic. Tim Dyer here as well. And Delia Gadamo popping in at this time.
Yes, she's popping in like a lollipop. How are you doing, Delia? Yeah, lollipop is good for the new year. All right, so Mike, I see lots of reports coming your way this morning.
Yes, and most areas looking very, very calm this morning.
Still looking
good. The major corridors, yes, we just did a review of what traffic is saying currently along the major corridors. The stretch of Ikorodu Road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway connecting the Third Mainland Bridge, and of course Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. To begin with, the usual traffic from National to Ikeja along still persists, and of course approaching Yanagpaja underneath the bridge gets busy coming from the Okiodo end, where I can confirm to you that traffic still looks very good. But then so it's just the usual National inward Ikeja along. That's the area motorists would have to contend with traffic wise. That's on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway.
Very correct. All right then. So Lagos-Ibadan, things are gradually picking up, right? Talk to me.
Yes, Lagos-Ibadan looks very fine. Yeah, coming from the rear, the Baja end, all through motorways down to Yanuwuru, connecting the Third Mainland Bridge. Much earlier, we recorded an accident at Ilaje in Wajin waterfront, but that has been resolved. It's been taken care of, so no cause for alarm, and normalcy has been restored to that part of the road. So it's all good.
All good.
Yeah,
the Third Mainland Bridge is good, right?
Oh, fantastic. Connecting the island, except for the busy traffic situation we've been keeping an eye on. That's from Adeniji inward Simpson. And of course Dolphin connecting Osborne, busy movement owing to alternation at Osborne Foreshore. But the Bodilon stretch looks good to use. However, yes. So then let's look at Ikorodu Road.
Yeah, talk to me. What's happening within the Ikorodu Road corridor?
So there was a case of an accident at New Garage earlier. That was during the early hours of the day, which has finally been resolved. The vehicle has been moved to the side of the road, so better movement. But then it's supposed to be batteries are supposed to be having it pretty good, but well, there's some spillover owing to the fact that the BRT enforcement guys are back at Odialaro. So that has backed up their activity. They're carrying out some sort of operation which has backed up traffic to Ojota or slightly beyond Ojota.
All right, we're going to track that, but beyond that point it gets better, right?
Free flow all through to Fadi Funchal Williams Avenue, looking very good. On Eco Bridge, yes, we have rehabilitation work ongoing.
Still ongoing
the expansion joints receiving attention, and that's is causing some slow movement towards Akmongo.
Okay then, so we're going to track that as well. Other side of town, Lekki Aja corridor, any news?
Oh well, free flow, good movement.
It's still looking good.
Yes, for now. Let's see how things will pan out.
And Victor Island is good too.
Oh yes, of course, Victor Island. But motorists will still have to look out for the traffic lights.
All right. We've not been able to get anything fresh from the Lagos-Badagry Expressway for some time now. What's going on within that corridor?
Lagos-Badagry. Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Okay.
Yes, earlier.
And it's still looking good this morning?
Yes, we had a pretty fair this morning. That was during the 7 o'clock hour. We had that report from the Badagry corridor, from Agbara Custom Checkpoint through Agbara Estate, Morugbu, Ajibade, all the way Odofa, in and out. We recorded free flow. And despite counter flow, right from Odofa through
that's on as well.
Okwa for movement, we still recorded fine movement. But I don't know if the influx has built up.
Okay, let's check. Is this an update that's coming in? Let's see.
Yeah, Olaiwola is connecting with us once more. Yes, let's see.
Yes, thank you so much, Victor.
Yes.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, Mike, just a quick feedback concerning the reported case of an accident around Owodele. It has been cleared up. Oh, good. So no spillover for now. Where we are having a bit of challenge is an overnight impediment around the inward Owodele, which situation is being well managed. Vehicles are being diverted to BRT corridor that is coming in from Ajikule now. Users will make use of Ajikule and bust out at NNPC.
Oh yes.
And bust out at NNPC by Irawo. That is just a quick update. And we have good flow from the rear from Okobu and up to that location.
All right then. Olaiwola, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Victor.
Great. Okay, so Ikorodu Road receiving attention as well. All the impediments are getting attended to.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. All right. What's the weather woman saying today? Let's look through. The rains are not yet here.
No,
but the weather has been quite cloudy.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Cloudy these days, right?
Yes.
But the rains ain't coming.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not
So,
yet.
Dele, what did you do? Did you hold the reins?
No, you know, I love the rain now.
Okay. So you didn't befriend that aspect, right?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe Dio is a culprit here.
No, I'm not. I actually would want it to rain.
As well.
The heat these days.
Yeah, the heat has been something else.
It shouldn't
So much.
It shouldn't rain. No?
It should rain. It should rain, please. Just a bit of shower. We need it. And the weather forecast is saying partly cloudy skies are expected in the morning.
Hooray.
Also expected in a gradual increase in cloud cover
Hooray.
in the afternoon from the prevalent moisture-laden southwest trade winds. So we just want rain with all of this in
Mike, why are you saying hooray? It will not rain.
No, it's been.
We will hold it.
Yeah, but then cloudy. Yeah, well, the weather is cloudy.
Cloudy. Can you hear why?
Please, we need a bit of the rain.
Okay.
It's been pretty hot lately.
Rain in January.
Yes. And we need rain for the Agbalumo.
That would be odd. Come on. You love Agbalumo.
But the
Yeah, we need
cherries,
rain on
the
it, you know,
cherries.
to give us that welcoming feeling like, okay, officially, you can go ahead and take Agbalumo.
Yes. Okay. I'm not a fan of Agbalumo anyway. Yes. All right. So that's not going to be the focus. It's going to be a double dose today, by the way. First off, we'll be reflecting on our health, but this time around, we're talking cervical cancer.
Once again.
Yeah. So January is designated as cervical cancer awareness month, and so we'll be reflecting through that again via the eyes and of course the works of the NSIA Youth Cancer Center. So they are carrying out this advocacy. We'll be having a chat with them this morning on the first part of the program, and then on Lagos transport trends and perspectives, we're getting back to the world of Lekki. All right. The e-call-up system, I understand, is fully operational. Right? So we'll be looking at how this is going to be working out and the modalities within that particular corridor. Before then, Dele is here with a bag full of news. Dele, finally, Trump has been sworn in.
Yeah. Yes, he has.
And he and his cronies were rubbing it in. This is the most, how would I put it? That was the word I'm going to use. This is the best victory of all time. They have been talking about it, that this is sweet victory for them, getting back to the throne and getting back to Washington.
Yes, indeed. And he has also said that God saved him from the, he's had assassination attempts.
Right.
Quote and unquote.
That's right.
Yes.
So he says
he said God saved him to make
America great again. Okay. All right. He's been signing some orders, so many executive orders, ever since assuming that mantle, and one of them is on the border side with Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, so he's talking about that as well. He's been talking about tariffs and so many other things too.
I remember yesterday we said that some European countries are already jittery concerning his inauguration and coming second term as President of America.
Right.
They know that it probably would portend a lot of diplomatic issues for them. Let's just hope that his advisors and his cabinet are able to handle some of the issues that may arise.
Right. Okay then. Dele is here with a bag full of news, and of course, those of you marking your birthdays will be celebrating that with you during the 9 o'clock hour.
Well, of course, there's going to be a whole lot to chew on the conversation corner this morning on Your Side Mirror. Let's not forget, during the 9 o'clock hour, Lagos transport trends and perspectives will come up. All that and more on Your Side Mirror with Victor Oteri.
Whiskey, Nigerian entertainment industry.
so mommy I don't I've always traveled mine.
Oh, by one way, oh, long shaggy. If police catch you, you will see yourself. You better change your pattern, take the right way. Change your way. You better change your way. Oh, yeah, by one way, they lay like you do the right and only way. Change your way. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Abdul, and we're 96.1 FM Lagos Traffic Radio. Yay.
Chai, my head, Oga landlord. Why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again, this one with your body hot so. You don't do test? Yes, see result, Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine. We dey knock down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Hey, thank you, Oga Luta. I don't dey can't pay. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Are you a business owner struggling with how you buy, record, store, and sell your products effectively? Look no further. Manage your processes smarter with Paybox 360.
Imagine receiving orders from multiple channels, whether it's web POS, offline POS, your instant web, mobile phones, or microsites.
Paybox 360 helps you stay ahead with automated reordering to restock effortlessly.
And there's more. You also get a free POS system for seamless transactions, built-in accounting tools to track your finances effortlessly.
Whether you're running a supermarket, restaurant, chain of stores, or a single outlet, Paybox 360 gives you the tools to simplify operations.
Paybox 360 also offers powerful modules like HR management to automate payroll and offer employee benefits and spend management to track expenses and budgets seamlessly. Dial star 347 star 180 star 15 hash or call us at 020-133-00172 today.
Paybox 360. Buy, store, sell, and succeed.
When you have bars in the sky, onboard showers, and award-winning in-flight entertainment, it's no surprise that Emirates was recently named the best airline in the world. We fly you to over 140 destinations, and with partners across the globe, we connect you to another 1,700 cities across 6 continents. So when we say we're also the largest international airline, what we really mean is, if you're going there, so are we. Book now on Emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, then. So you're welcome to a brand new day. And of course, it's time for us to connect with you as you move from one location to another. It's Your Side Mirror. This is a great Tuesday. Today is the 21st of January, the year 2025. How you doing, Lagos? I hope things are still looking pretty cool and calm. You're welcome. Let's join Dele Agadimo right now as she brings us newspaper headlines.
On newspaper headlines this morning, we'll be taking a look at Thursday newspaper. Also have Tribune, Vanguard, and Punch newspaper. Not forgetting Alausa Alert. From Thursday newspaper, in bid to improve services, NCC approves 50% rise in telecoms tariff. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, yesterday approved the raising of telecoms tariff by 50% in what observers believe was approved in a bid to improve telecom services. In recent times, the quality of services by all telecoms providers have depreciated significantly across all service lines. The approved increase was disclosed in a statement signed by NCC Director Public Affairs, Mr. Ruben Moka. Prepare implementable budget for approval, the National Assembly tells MDAs. The National Assembly yesterday tasked the heads of ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs of the federal government to present budgets that are realistic, implementable, focused and with measurable outcomes for legislative scrutiny. This was as the National Assembly yesterday summoned the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, and the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, to explain the federal government's commitment to diversify the country's economy from its heavy dependence on crude revenues. Shettima arrives Davos for World Economic Forum meeting. Vice President Kashim Shettima yesterday arrived Davos, Switzerland, to represent Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. The WEF meeting, according to a statement issued by media assistant to the Vice President Stanley Nkwocha, brings together global leaders, business executives and development partners to address pressing global and national economic challenges and identify strategies for sustainable growth. CAC targets 30-minute company registration timeframe aided by AI. The Registrar General and Chief Executive Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Mr. Hussaini Magaji, yesterday said all business registration with the Commission would soon be fully driven by artificial intelligence to further simplify processes and enhance ease of doing business in the country. He said advancements in AI could handle routine operational tasks such as business registration, freeing resources for more complex compliance and enforcement activities. Moving on to the Tribune, Accreditors Program, Lagos government begins application process. The Lagos State government has commended the application process for its Certified Accreditors Program, CAP. CAP is a public-private partnership initiative designed to strengthen the monitoring and inspection of building projects across the state. From Vanguard, UK-based Nigerian replaces Kemi Badenoch's brother's stolen shoes wristwatch. United Kingdom UK-based Nigerian James Akinwande has bought a new pair of shoes and a wristwatch as replacements for the ones allegedly stolen from Kemi Badenoch's brother by men of the Nigerian police force. In a recent interview, Badenoch, leader of the UK's Conservative Party, said some officers of the MPF stole her brother's watch and shoes. Badenoch did not indicate the year the incident happened in Nigeria, but said giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. I was saved by God to make America great again, Trump. President Donald Trump yesterday declared that he was saved by God from assassination attempts while campaigning for a second term in office to make America great again, as he was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States of America. He pledged to make some immediate and sweeping changes in the next few days, promising to deport millions of undocumented and criminal aliens, use military force at the southern border to reduce the number of migrants entering the country drastically, declare national energy emergency to expand drilling and tackle inflation. From Punch newspaper, police rescue 207 abducted children, foil multiple attacks nationwide. Operatives of the Nigerian Police Force have rescued 207 abducted children nationwide and thwarted multiple bandit attacks across the country. The police said a syndicate involved in child abduction and trafficking in Akure, Ondo State, had been dismantled, rescuing 14 children. 6 arrested as NSCDC bust Kano motorcycle syndicate. Operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps have arrested 6 motorcycle thieves who specialized in violently attacking and snatching motorcycles from unsuspecting members of the public in Kano State. The suspects were apprehended around the Goringawa and Bechi areas of Kombosto local government area of the state. The public relations officer of the state commander of the NSCDC, Ibrahim Abdullahi, confirmed the arrests of the suspects in a statement on Monday. And take the last one from Alausa Alert. SSG advocates orderliness in security operations. Residents of Lagos have been urged to embrace patience and orderliness in public and private spaces. This is to ensure the safety of lives and property across the state. The Secretary to the State Government SSG, Barrister Bimbola Salu Hunde, gave the charge in Alausa during a meeting with leadership of the Police Community Relations Committee and heads of paramilitary agencies in Lagos State. And that's it. You can pick up a copy of any of the dailies. Go online to read more. Also, interact with us via our social media platforms. On X, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Traffic Radio 961, and follow me across social media at Dele Agadumo.
Yes, so Tubabade so and this one a traffic radio. I beg you, if you did drive for residential or school areas, check well, specifically the ride bicycle, the waka, or even the jog safe. My people, use your horn when necessary on top this matter to avoid stories that touch the heart on top accident matter. One love, my people.
This is Lagos Traffic Radio. We're reaching out to you. 96.1 FM stereo, the station with the flow, wishing you a new year, celebrating easy traffic flow. It's another year, it's a lot to do and a lot to accomplish. Ooh, you're gonna need easy movement, yeah. So don't forget to turn to traffic radio. Make everything better. Under any situation, and I'll be proactive with timely information, cause we care, and it's a brand new year. Gather round the mistletoe and tune to Lagos Traffic Radio. It's Lagos Traffic Radio, we're reaching out to you. 96.1 FM stereo, station with the flow, pushing you a new year, celebrating easy traffic flow. All around Lagos City, you can hear the conversations. Everybody's celebrating. Oh, we got it right, and we're gonna do it all over again. Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM stereo. Got you covered under any situation. Proactive with timely information, cause we care, and it's a brand new year. Gather round the mistletoe and tune to Lagos Traffic Radio. It's Lagos Traffic Radio, and we're reaching out to you. 96.1 FM stereo, station with the flow, wishing you new year, celebrating easy traffic flow. Traffic Radio, reaching out to you. 96.1 FM stereo, station with the flow, wishing you new year, celebrating easy traffic flow, celebrating easy traffic flow.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're back on the block, and of course, it's time for us to continue that dialogue with you as you move from one location to the other. Flash update coming in says there's a report of an accident involving a granite truck and an Opel space car. This is at Ibeju. All right. talking about the bridge there inwards Eleko Junction. All right, I understand the car has been evacuated immediately, remaining the Mack truck. All right, so efforts ongoing for its evacuation with other sister agencies. There are 3 casualties that are involved in that accident, but it's not really affecting the flow of traffic right now. This is within the Ibejuleki corridor. So take note of that. It's a flash update coming in from the control room. From our live cameras, we can tell you most of the areas that we're covering still looking pretty cool and calm this morning. If you're making that journey from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, connecting with Alakpere, linking up with Ogudu, and of course Yano Road to Car Wash is looking pretty good. Connecting the Third Milan Bridge proper, all looking beautiful. Ikorodu Road as well. We did tell you earlier on that some enforcement is ongoing by the BRT enforcement team that's around Odo Yalaru. But of course, we're tracking that minute by minute. I'll be letting you in on what's happening within those areas. All right, within the Igondo corridor, appreciable movement within the length and breadth of the axis for now. All looking pretty good. Obadori, Afolabi, Akeson, areas like Olorunfemi as well as Omolade in what Igondo phase 1 and 2. Both in and out, looking beautiful. The journey is looking pretty good to go for now. And then Igondo Road inwards Old Garage is also good as well. No major impediment cited within those locations. All right, then, so on the first leg of the program this morning, we're going to be dissecting the essence of the Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. One of the things that we've been doing, and we did that extensively last year, is to give a whole lot of advocacy on cancer, right? And that's because that's something that we cannot afford to toy with. And all the time, we've always brought in the professionals, those who are very much in the thick or perhaps in the eye of the storm, those who are trying to really save you and I from the debilitating effects of cancer. And this morning, I have one woman. We're blessed to have her in Nigeria. She's joining me right now in the studios. Dr. Bolanle Adegboyega is consultant, clinical and radiation oncologist with the NSIA Luth Cancer Center. It's not her first time here, but she's making another N3. Nice to have you in the studios this morning, madam. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor.
And Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, thank you.
Wonderful. All right, you're looking at our cameras this morning. Talk to me. Which part of those roads can you identify from the live cameras? Which one of them can you identify? This is a litmus test for you.
Okay, don't worry. I'll say something. There's a native jack on the Wemco. It's written there. So, Ikeja Plaza roundabout, place restaurant. You should be.
No, but do you know it? Do you know those stations?
Yeah. So looking at it now, yeah, I can actually connect. Yeah.
How much of Lagos roads do you know?
Oh, don't take. Let's not go there.
Okay. All right.
Google is our friend.
All right. So we'll put that aside. Let's concentrate on the program this morning, and that's because we're doing this for Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about it. How did we come about January being Cervical Cancer Awareness Month?
Well, I never give that a thought before. Why January? So maybe in my own knowledge, I'll say that shows the importance, shows the burden, and the fact that it's highly preventable.
Right.
So the best time for you to start your prevention as part of your goal for the year can actually be part of your health goal. So at least if there's something you can actually prevent, it should be cervical cancer. So that's why we're starting in January.
Beautiful. So what is cervical cancer? Let's talk about that.
So cervical cancer is a cancer. Cancer is an abnormal growth that is out of the regular control of the body. And this, when it occurs at the cervix, cervix is the mouth of the womb. Womb is the place where when a woman gets pregnant, the place that houses the baby is the womb.
Right.
Then the mouth where the doctors or the nurses check when a woman is in labor to check how dilated. So that place is the cervix. So a cancer that arises from the cervix is cervical cancer.
All right. And how common is, or perhaps how prevalent is cervical cancer in Nigeria?
Okay, so globally, the cervical cancer is the 4th commonest cancer in women. But in Nigeria, it's actually the 2nd commonest cancer following breast cancer.
Wow.
And actually in the northern part of Nigeria, it can actually be a leading cause of cancer. It can even be more prevalent than breast cancer. So it's that common.
So if we have 10 ladies in this room, how many will come down with cervical cancer?
Well, the narration has changed a whole lot, and things are getting better. So I think now the story is far better. It's possible for us not to have any lady out of 10 coming down with cervical cancer. So that's what we're talking about.
That's good news.
Yeah, it is possible not to have anybody coming down with cervical cancer.
So that means this campaign of January being the cervical cancer awareness month, that means it's working.
Yeah, it is. Okay, especially in a developed nation like Australia. In fact, I saw another country very close to Australia talking about the fact that this time around, okay, like Australia, they have gotten to almost like 1% incidence of cervical cancer. So that particular country, I just can't remember vividly now.
Right.
They said that every woman has a day of the year when you'll be paid. You are not coming to work. You have to go for your medical check, and at the same time, you will get paid.
You get paid.
You get paid. So it's just to encourage people. So with all these measures in place, it has actually brought down the incidence and the prevalence in developed nations.
So we should be thinking about adopting that in Nigeria?
It's actually going to be good. Yeah.
All right. With people like you championing it, let's see if the National Assembly can put that into law, and then we can really adopt that as well. But talking about the significance of this awareness month, just talk to our listeners this morning. How significant is it to educate and empower women with this kind of knowledge?
Okay, so the theme for January 2025 Cervical Cancer Awareness Month is get informed, get screened, and get vaccinated. So talking about information, one of the major information is the fact that cervical cancer is highly preventable and highly curable if patients present early. Part of the information is for you to know the major cause of cervical cancer, which is human papilloma virus, which is a sexually transmitted infection that can actually be prevented. And then there are vaccines that have been targeting this virus, such that if you take the vaccines early, you don't even have to come down with this cervical cancer. If you miss that vaccine part, there's a part of when you are now sexually active, you're married, there's a place of regular screening, which comes in different various forms depending on the geopolitical zone or economic country of any nation. Right. There's a screening method that is suitable. So if somebody gets screened and get detected on time, it's curable. And then another good news, another information is the fact that cervical cancer, all the continuum of treatment from the screening to the vaccination to the treatment to the cure is actually possible in Nigeria. So you don't have to travel out of the country to get treated or get cured if you have it.
Could I be right if I say this perhaps is the only cancer that it appears you doctors know the cause, right? All other cancers, you always say, well, it's not something that is determinate, but for cervical cancer, you can tell us that it's sexually inclined. Is that correct?
It is sexually inclined. So it's one of the cancers that can actually come out and say that almost 100% it's preventable, unlike others that have other factors that contribute to it, that even after checking all the boxes, there might still be some like genetics and stuff that might be responsible. But cervical cancer is almost always linked to human papilloma virus.
All right. Okay then. So any signs, any symptoms that would show that somebody is coming down with cervical cancer?
Okay, so if you get vaccinated and you get screened, we don't expect it to even get to a stage that people are having symptoms. So in early screening, it might be asymptomatic when people just detect an abnormal changes in the cervix. So but now when coming to the symptoms, the major symptoms is abnormal vaginal bleeding. So when I say abnormal, it's different things to different people. The major one we have is a postmenopausal bleeding. Okay. So when that enter menopause, you just start seeing blood again. Most of our patients come back and say that they thought the menses had come back. So menses don't come back.
So we're talking about ladies within the ages of 45?
No. Okay, menopause can be more than that. So in some cases, it might be up to 52. So we see people that enter menopause 5 years, 6 years, in their 60s, having abnormal vaginal bleeding.
Wow.
That is a pointer. It can be intermenstrual bleeding. If you have a regular cycle of 30 days and in between starts spotting, it might be due to other causes, but it just has to be tested. Some when they are on contact, maybe you are doing examination, there's bleeding, or during sexual intercourse, there's bleeding. Those ones are abnormal. Another common cause common symptom in Nigeria is a watery, foul-smelling vaginal discharge. So usually like water, it might be discolored, like brownish, but it smells so terribly. So it might also be a pointer to cervical cancer. Then other pointers are when it is advanced. Okay. When people start having pelvic pain, or if it has affected the kidney, they are having pedal edema. If it has affected the liver, they are having yellowness of the eye. But these ones are in advanced stages. But the common one is abnormal vaginal bleeding or watery, foul-smelling vaginal discharge.
Okay, so those are pointers that will let you know that, well, this is likely going to be something related to cervical cancer.
Yeah.
In terms of screening, do we have what it takes in Nigeria?
Yeah, at least to a reasonable. In fact, all the screening modalities are actually possible in Nigeria. So the health organization have designed some screening for low medium income countries like Nigeria and most sub-Saharan Africa, and these are VIA, visual inspection with acetic acid or with the Lagos iodine. So these ones can be done by the lowest cadre of health workers like the CHUs, the nurses, and it's actually very good for mass screening. So in this case, they just paint it with that. They paint the cervix with either acetic acid and or Lagos iodine and watch for the color changes. And they usually come very cheap. So in this case, it is also possible if you see in a trained hand, if they detect any abnormality, they can treat these pre-malignant lesions immediately. So there's a place of see and treat. So it's actually good for our economy, it's good for our country, and then they can also escalate. If they see something abnormal, they can refer to an higher authority. Okay. Another one is pap smear. This one is more rampant, is a bit more expensive than the VIA, and is also very, very possible. So in this case, a swab is taken and then you look at it under the microscope. The good thing about VIA is that there and then they get the results. Okay. Then pap smear, patient has to go and come back for your results. And another one is HPV DNA screening. And then this one is like they take the sample, they also look at it, and the gold standard for now in the treatment guideline is that it must be a combination of pap smear plus HPV. But this one's because of the cost of the test is not the recommendation for us in Nigeria. In fact, recently NICRAT, that's the Nigeria Institute of Cancer Research and Training, they did a capacity building so as to train people at the health workers at the grassroots, so that we can get more screening done, and to empower them to be able to detect early, and they are the closest to the people. So in this case, you are able to cover more. And then another thing about HPV DNA screening is that there's a place for you can collect it in your own house.
You can do that personally.
You can do it personally and not take the sample to the hospital for it to get tested. So in this case, a lot has been done to come to and overcome any form of barrier. Some are not just comfortable that after I don't have cancer, why will I open myself to somebody to do or stuff like that. So you can actually, there's a self-tool collection
that you can use.
You can do it, take it at home, and it's so easy that you take it to the hospital. So one way or the other, no matter your cadre, no matter your level, you can get screened.
Let's talk about cervical cancer. Is it age discriminate? Does it discriminate against any age?
Well, actually, it's actually common in the middle age group and the sexually active age group. But then there are instances where we have had teenagers coming down with cervical cancer.
15, 16?
Yeah, and then we have also had elderly. At least I've had a patient that was 102 years coming down with cervical cancer. So we have those extremes of age, but it's usually around the middle age.
Right. Yeah. But you say it's curable, right?
It is. It is preventable and it is curable.
All right. The messages are coming in here for you, Dr. Adegwega. This one says, good morning. How accessible is cervical cancer screening and treatment in Nigeria? Shola is sending that one in.
Okay, thank you. So like I said, it is very, very accessible. So like the VIA that I've described before, the basic one, most health centers, most general hospitals will have it. Then the pap smear, if you go to the teaching hospitals or the other general hospitals too, they will have it. Then the HPV screen, even the self-collection tools, there are some designated labs that also have the kits that you can get it done. So get to any hospital and then find out. It is very, very accessible.
All right, this one says, amazing morning, doc. Can men receive the HPV vaccine, and how does that impact cervical cancer prevention? Thanks, Jerry from Alakwere.
Thank you, Jerry. So in developed nation, the guideline for the HPV screening is actually for both male and female within the reproductive age group. At least those are before they have a sexual exposure as early as 9 years. So for the girls, it prevents against HPV and then definitely against cervical cancer. But for the boys, HPV virus is also associated with with some head and neck cancers, and then anal cancer and testicular cancer, which is found in boys. So it can also help prevent against those ones, especially if you have other variants of vaccines that covers more HPV strains. Right. And then another thing is that if boys are vaccinated, it will also help so that they will not infect girls with these HPV vaccines. So it's a double advantage for the boys. They also get prevented from some cancers, and then they will not be able to infect the girls with HPV. So boys can also be.
All right. This one says, good morning, Lagos Traffic Radio. What are the treatments involved in the cervical cancer procedure? Shegun from Ikeja is sending that one in.
Thank you, Shegun. So the treatment, like I said, is all available here in Nigeria for patients that present very early. So the treatment is based on the presentation. The stages as early as, usually we know that stages 1 to 4 for cancers, but cervical cancer, it is actually further broken down. Stage 1, it has a 1A, 1B, and the stage 1A and 1B also have subdivision of 1A1, 1B2. So for patient that comes in with 1B1 and below, it can only be surgery, and that may just be all that they need. Okay. But those stages are the number of people that comes down with that are people that are actually picked up on screening, and they are quite rare. Right. Majority of our patients, like 80% of our patients, comes with 1B to Burkitt disease and above, even to stage 4B. And in this case, the majority of the treatment is chemotherapy plus radiotherapy in combination over a period of 5 weeks, and after that they will go for brachytherapy, and all of this is available.
Wow, these are really technical terms: chemo, radio, and brachy, right? This one says, are there any dietary or lifestyle habits that lower the risk of cervical cancer?
Okay, so thank you for the risk of cervical cancer. The risks are not dietary, they are actually sexually related. Right. Most of it is people that have had multiple sexual partners, or people that have partners that have multiple sexual partners, or people that have given birth several times. It shows that you have had many more sexual exposure. People that have associated immunosuppressive disease like HIV, those that have sexually transmitted disease. So most of it are actually sexually related. All right. So if you can actually have abstinence can help, then have a faithful partner can help, then limit the number of sexual partners.
All right. This one says, how often should women undergo pap smears or HPV tests? Jadi Sola is sending that one in.
Okay, so for pap smear only, it can be done annually. Then when you get a negative result, and then you know that you are with one sexual partner, so limit your risk. As you are getting negative results, it can actually be spread out with time. It becomes every 2 years, every 3 years, and every 5 years. And then if you have done a number of tests and it's negative, and you know that you are with a safe partner, you can actually increase it. But if it's a combination of pap smear and HPV testing, it can actually cover for 5 years. It can be done once in 5 years. If you are doing those combo.
All right. Okay. All right. I need to ask the question that some myths and misconceptions. I know you've dealt with that severally on this program, but let's look at NSI Youth Center as we gradually wind down on the program this morning. On a daily basis, you get to attend to lots of patients that are coming down with cervical cancer. Like, how many show up at the center?
Okay, so for generally in a month we see like 100 new cases, not of cervical cancer, of cancer generally. Okay. And then up to 3 out of every cervical cancer is the third commonest. It can be third commonest cancer we see after breast cancer, head and neck, then the cervical cancer. So at least like 30% of our new cases will be cervical cancer.
Cervical cancer. So and you guys have the facilities to treat them, right?
Yes, we are. I'm glad to tell the whole world that at least NSI Youth Cancer Center can treat cervical cancer from the beginning to the very end. We have facility for chemotherapy. We offer image guided. Our radiotherapy is linear, so we actually see it on image we see what we are treating
on the screen.
And on the screen, we have the technique like high MRT, VMAT, 3D to plan and give you the best planning that will give high dose to the tumor and spare the normal tissue as much as possible.
Right.
And we're the only center that started doing image-guided brachytherapy.
Wow.
Another, even for new advances in cervical cancer, or for extreme of cases like advanced cases, there's a place for immunotherapy, there's a place of targeted therapy. All of these are also available in NSI.
Let's run this off right now. Good stories to share with us this morning. Have we had survivors?
We have lots and lots of survivors.
Anyone that touches you?
Well, let me say, I have one young lady. She's 22 years. She just finished treatment last year. So the first thing that struck everybody was that she must be HIV positive. Lo and behold, she wasn't positive. Fine, she's married, and then she came with a very, very huge disease. We were able to put her on a trial such that we started her on chemotherapy first to bring down the disease. Then after that, we went to chemotherapy plus radiotherapy, then brachytherapy, and then I've seen her now. She's well over 6 months post-treatment, disease-free. She had a very good response. Absolute. In fact, we did pap smear after. As at the last check, she's doing just fine. She's very good.
All right, it's on that positive note that we'll round up the program this morning. Dr. Adegwega, it's always a thing of joy having you in the studios. I wish this can continue on and on, but very, very soon we'll get you back in the studios to share some more positive stories.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming into the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so now you know, please go out there as a lady, go do the test and ensure that you catch up or perhaps get involved with these ideals of the awareness for cervical cancer, which is this January. And even beyond, you can always go there and do your test from time to time. We're going to switch gears right now to do our birthdays. That will be after this brief break.
Great music. Think of transportation experts discussing issues. Think of government policies well spelled out. Think of traffic reports on your frequency every 10 minutes. Think no more. You have your show bet here for these and more. Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Moving Lagos forward.
We are the dial that helps you navigate through Lagos traffic with ease. We are the 96.1 dial. Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Moving Lagos forward.
Timeliness begins with the letter T. We strive to maintain timeliness in disseminating information to our listeners, and that is why we are reliable. Being the most reliable radio station, providing traffic information in Africa is our vision. Maintaining the A status, which is accurate. Accuracy in serving you real-time traffic situation reports live from the roads in details. We are dynamic in every way. With the use of modern technology and well-motivated workforce, we keep you up to date with information on all modes of transportation, and that has been our objective. Being the first authentic traffic radio station in Africa. Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Moving Lagos forward.
Happy birthday to you. If today is your day, we're celebrating you right now. Alhaja Latifat Adeshola Adebigbe AAA is here with us, all right? She is our Deputy Director of Finance and Accounts for Lagos Traffic Radio. Alhaja, a.k.a. Queen Latifah. All right. Happy birthday to you. Entire members and staff of this station, we're celebrating you, and we're praying that this year will be a better year for you. You'll continue to glow and glow and glow by the grace of Allah, right? So happy birthday to Alhaja Adebigbe Latifat, a.k.a. Queen Latifah of Lagos Traffic Radio. We wish you well. Zainab Fashola is celebrating, staff with Lagos State Government. Big shout out to you. Tunde Aleshinloye is my big oga. All right, retired staff from Radio Lagos Eco FM. Happy birthday to you, sir. We wish you well. That's Ibiniyi Ayola Oshadari is celebrating. Happy birthday to you. Princess Oseke Ifunaya Chuku is celebrating. Happy birthday to you. Bakari Okpayemi Monsurat. Today's your day. You are an alumnus of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State. Big shout out to you too. Festus Keamo is a name you cannot ignore. SAN. He's the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development. Big shout out going out to him as well. Logun Asizat Abiodun, aka Queen Endowed of the Office of the Surveyor General. Happy birthday to you. We wish you well. Babajide Moromfolu is a veteran broadcaster. Happy birthday to you. Sleazy E is celebrating, is an artist. Big shout out to him as well. And Ibukumoluwa Akinsoya, aka Chicago. Today is your day too. Wish you well. Priscilla and Antonia Adedayo are twins. They are celebrating today as well. Happy birthday to you. Mrs. Oluwakemi Balogun is CEO Tiwa Teens and Stitches. Today is your day too. We wish you the very, very best. Let's switch over to the traffic manager's family. And celebrating today as well is Ayorino Daniel Nukbo. All right, I understand you have Zone 5 in Mile 2. Big shout out going out to you. Junaid Ridwan Dada. Okay, Junaid Ridwan Dada is of Zone 15 in Aja. Happy birthday to you. Celebrating today as well is Choyoye Adetoye of Zone 25 in Yanowuru, Bariga. Happy birthday to you. We wish you well. Sumonu Saliu Olu is celebrating Zone 27, Okota Isolo. Today's your day too. Wish you well. Onobanjo Adekunle is of Zone 31 in Mile 12. Happy birthday to you, Onobanjo. Olutola Oluwatoyin is of Zone 37 in Airport Road at Jao Estate. Celebrating today as well is Martins of Zone 4. Zone 41 in Igodo. Big shout out to you. Ayeni Abimbola also of the LASMA in VIS. Today is your day too. We wish you the very best. Okay then, so let's get on the dance floor to celebrate all of you who are marking your birthdays. We wish you well and we say congratulations. Are always on time with traffic updates as you navigate through the smart city of Lagos. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
Transportation is a prime mover of the economy and a centerpiece of our lives. While many states in Nigeria are grappling with transportation challenges, Lagos State has emerged as an excellent example of how innovative policies and strategic investments can lead to a world-class multimodal transport system. For up-to-date information on the innovative projects, policies and solutions upholding the Lagos transport system, tune into Lagos Transport Trends and Perspective. Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives is a 45-minute program designed to project the successes, ongoing projects and the latest mobility trends in the Lagos transport system. Join us every Tuesday, 9:15 to 10 a.m. on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM as we dive deep deep into the issues that matter most for everyone within the transportation equation of Lagos. Tune in and listen to stakeholders, industry players, and transportation experts prefer innovative solutions to problems bordering on public transport, road safety, and strategies to ease congestion, to exploring new mobility trends. Tuesdays, 9:15 a.m. on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives is powered by the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. Don't miss it.
Anytime you hear this tune, like we always say, it's time to switch gears and talk about the latest things in the transport sector in Lagos so that we can make transportation much more accessible for you and much more pleasant as well. You're welcome. This is Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives. It comes to you every Tuesdays from 9:15 through 10 o'clock, and it is courtesy of the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. The whole idea is for you to have some of the latest things that are happening within the transport sector in Lagos so that you can appreciate transportation and you can maximize its use as well. You're welcome. My name is Victor Oteri. All right, so today we're going to be looking at transportation and matters arising. This time around, we're looking at it from the operational framework. We have a ministry, we have a department in the ministry which is saddled with the responsibility of transport operations. We'll be looking at what they do and how they do their business. And then we'll be touching down on some of the issues that relates to transportation, especially as it relates to your own movement from one location to the others. All that and much more will be part of the menu if you can keep us company from now through 10 o'clock. But first off, let's get back to the roads. We did tell you that most of the areas that we're covering are still looking pretty good this morning. If you're making that journey to the island, we can tell you the Third Milan Bridge is still very, very good. It's a good access point for you to navigate through at this time. Ikorodu Road is also receiving with good flow as well. But of course, you need to watch out for some enforcement activities going on around the Odo-Yalaro end. Victoria Island, currently, Marwa inwards Lekki is moving. It's a moving traffic being experienced there. Getting busy, approaching Lekki pedestrian bridge. This is due to high influx and, of course, alternation. Responsible. Lekki inwards the toll plaza, very encouraging as we speak. Toll plaza connecting Oriental. It's a moving traffic being experienced there. Oriental Hotel inwards Sandfield down to School Corner is busy at the moment due to high influx. And then we can say that School Corner heading towards BJ and then 1000 Aki and Deshola down to Oniru, Kilimanjaro, very encouraging as we speak right now. Traffic is gathering momentum from EcoBank down to Oniru, Kilimanjaro, due to alternation at that point. It's an appreciable one, talking about vehicular movement from Kilimanjaro heading towards Aki and Deshola. That's on the return journey back to Bonny Camp, looking good. Descending from Bonny Camp Bridge inwards Ahmadu Bello, it's a moving traffic as well. And then we can say traffic is getting busy, approaching some other locations within that particular corridor. That's what you have within the Victoria Island end. Let me see if you can still touch down on one or two more. Apapa axis, appreciable movement as well from Auto Wharf inwards Beja Suya, connecting Sunrise, and then Sunrise inwards Coconut, linking up with Tinkan First Gate, and Second Gate is looking pretty good to go. Good movement as well from Liverpool Bridge and Liverpool underneath the bridge inwards Glaxo Junction. Connecting Niger is also good, while Niger inwards Wharf Gate linking up with the ports is busy. The return journey from the port gate inwards Niger heading towards Glaxo Junction, connecting Liverpool roundabout is looking good too. Waterside in and out, back to the roundabout, connecting Tinkan Second Gate is also looking pretty good. And then Second Gate inwards Tinkan First Gate and Coconut, beautiful as well. Sunrise linking up with Auto Wharf, connecting Maltuoke is moving at a fast pace. So that's what you have within the Apapa corridor as well. So we'll be serving you more helpings as they come in from time to time. All right, then, so on the program this morning, I did tell you that we're going to be reflecting a whole lot on matters arising within the transport sector. Yes, there are lots of things that are happening, and of course, from the Ministry of Transport, it is the duty to also inform you on some of these things so that you can always track it and then you can make a good advantage of it. All right, so we'll be touching down on most of them. Let me bring to the microphone my guest, who's been seated for quite a while. Engineer Olasukomi Ojowuro is Director of Transport Operations with the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. Nice to have you back in the studio, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Very, very good, too. So we are in the new year already. Let's just take some little time to dwell a bit on your area of coverage, your department, which is transport operations. How did things fare for transport operations in your department last year? How did things go?
Well, it's been challenging, but the ministry as a whole and the department have been able to muzzle whatever challenges that has come our way, and we are up to the task.
All right. As a case of reminder now, for those who might not really understand, transport operations, what do you guys do? What are your areas of coverage?
Well, simply put, the Department of Transport Operations implements the policies of the ministry and interacts with the other agencies of the ministry. And that extends beyond the ministry, the private sector, and the other layers of governance in Nigeria, the federal government,
right,
and the local government.
So you interface with them all?
Sure.
All right. So operations, let's say services like the e-hailing, do they fall under your department?
Yes, one of the purviews, in the transport operations department, we manage that space of e-hailing operators in the state. We have guidelines for them that they must comply with or conform with, and we ensure that we regularly, check on each of the operators if there is compliance.
All right. So let's talk about them. So how was it, and has it been e-hailing services?
Well, we all know that e-hailing is also another form of public transportation. It helps to reduce the vehicles we have on the road, because when people board or call for taxis, they do not necessarily have to put their vehicles on the road.
All right.
And it also eliminates the issue of parking, because if a vehicle, if I hail a taxi, it takes me to my destination.
Right.
The taxi is not waiting for me. It is also going to connect with other passengers that might need the service. So it reduces parking, issues. Of course, the lesser the vehicle we have on the road, the lesser the carbon monoxide and other greenhouse gases that are related to air pollution.
All right.
So it really solves a lot of problems, and of course it empowers those who are operators. We call the drivers operators. It brings bread on their table. That is a form of empowerment.
So job creation. All right. So how many of them do we have at the moment? How many operators do we have that are in the e-hailing business in Lagos as we speak right now? Do we have them in sufficient number?
Yes, we have about 9 licensed operators.
9 of them?
Yes.
Okay. And they are meeting up to the specifications which the government has given to them?
Of course, if they do not meet up with the requirements or guidelines, they will not be licensed in the first place.
Yes, because I know at a point some of them were a bit recalcitrant. So have they all been able to enter the same scale now to say, well, this is government that's regulating, let's go according to the dictates of government? Have they been able to do that now?
Sure. The good news is that we've been able to get them to agreeing to comply, and of course they are complying. Though we had initial issues with some of them that we had to go to the extent of enforcement, and thereafter we settled and we moved forward, and all of them in that space are compliant.
Let's talk about the vehicles now that they use for most of these e-hailing services. It appears a lot of them these days have challenges. When you pick up any of these e-hailing vehicles now, it's either some of them sometimes might not even be meeting up with good standards, so to say. So do you guys check them?
Well, in the mix that we have, it's not just the Department of Transport Operations that is involved in ensuring that the vehicles are okay. The VIS also play a role, and there are some documents that they need to have. Before they can assess or have those documents, they must have done their roadworthiness test. However, that does not mean that we do not have one or two or some vehicles that may not really be okay for transportation. But what we've done now, we had a meeting yesterday. We are making use of technology to now monitor, to now ensure that all the vehicles are they are fit for that mode of transportation.
So technology is now being deployed?
Yes, please.
In what form?
Yes, the consultant will now have what we call vehicle ID. The vehicle ID, of course, would have the registration number of the vehicle license, and with that we can now track. And when we track, we can now synchronize with them, the VIS, for them to do the needful.
Why is that necessary?
It's necessary so that all vehicles on that space, operation of that space, are fit, are roadworthy for commuting and for taking passengers from one point to the other.
Right. In terms of security, is there anything that the government is doing to also protect some of these e-hailing drivers?
Sure. The security necessary is not just for the e-hailing drivers. It's also needed for the passengers. And for that, part of the initiative we have is that we need I'll call it some credentials of the driver. Credentials of the rider. And because we are, tracking the movement from one point to the other, then if we see that a trip is not completed, of course there might be issues. And if a trip is also completed, we have the credentials on hand. So if there are breaches, security breaches or whatever, when the security agencies come, we can share the information with them for investigation purposes.
All right, then. So that's about e-hailing. For those of you that have any questions that relate to that, just keep it in one hand. We'll get back to that. Let's switch a bit now to look at some other areas under your purview. Gated streets in Lagos. I know we discussed that extensively during the festivities, but this is something that requires more than one conversation. So let's dwell a bit on that. During that period, were Lagosians able to really observe the ruling or perhaps the law guiding gated streets in Lagos, or what are your assessments?
Of course, in as much as we have those who are complying, of course we have pockets of those who refuse to comply. And for that, a week before the Christmas period, we carried out an enforcement of the communities or CDs that refused to comply. And thereafter, we've received so many applications for existing gated streets and for those who want to have gated streets in their areas. But our position is this: we know there are security challenges in the state. However, it doesn't mean that we should throw caution into the wind. Sometimes when you're trying to solve one problem, you create other problems. Supposing you lock up your area and there's security threat, how would the security operatives reach your house? Supposing there's a health emergency, somebody's in labor and there's need for an ambulance to come pick such a person, how would the ambulance reach such a person, or somebody who has high BP and lots more? If the fire engines come to quench a fire, they cannot access the area. So the real essence is that in as much as some areas, not major roads, are allowed to install street gates, however it must be within the guidelines set up so that we can all move freely.
So for those who might not really know what the guideline says on gated streets, what are we supposed to do if we have a gate in our street, for instance? What are we supposed to do?
in the first place, you shouldn't have gotten a gate or installed a gate without the input of the ministry. So the first thing to do is that if you conceptualize having a gate in your estate or whatever in your area, not on a major road or a feeder road, you have to come to the state, to the ministry, and there are guidelines. Guideline number 1, there's a fixed time that gate can be shut, not locked, but shut.
Okay.
And your gates must be open between the hours of 5 a.m. to about 11 p.m. because we have some considerations for some areas. Number 2, insofar as you have a gate, you have to have guards. You have to have people there to be at that gate 24 hours.
Okay.
So that whenever there are issues, these ones can attend to those who wish to enter or go out of the area. So when you feel like, or you've come to the conclusion that you need to have a gate, you come to the ministry, we go through the guidelines, then we visit. Should there even be a gate in the place, in the first place? Because if it's a major road, you don't need a gate.
Okay.
Because you'll be disturbing the ease of flow of traffic, which of course, tailgates when there's traffic and affects all of us in the state and makes movement difficult.
So for those places that installed gates, what did you do to them?
So for those who have installed gates, some of them who had already installed have come and we are taking them through the process. And for those that installed gates without our approval and who have not followed the guidelines, we have been enforcing. And for even those who have done the needful in terms of seeking for approval, going through the guidelines, going through the process, despite the due diligence, and have refused to conform with the guidelines, we have put their gates down too.
Oh, that has happened as well.
Sure.
All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives is the program that you're listening to. And the Director of Transport Operations for the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation is here with me, Engineer Olasukomi Ojowuro is our guest on the program this morning, taking you through the Ojo corridor. Very good movement is being experienced right now from Agbara Customs Checkpoint down to Federal Road Safety Corps Office. We can tell it's good at Janike. There is moving traffic between Tipa Garage and Yanera. This is due to activities of the motor unions, as well as that's at Yanosashi. That is subsiding at the moment. Movement is okay from Afro Media down to Franklas on both the service lane and the main carriageway is looking good. Movement ascending Yanoba flyover inwards mile 2, it's moving appreciably well, while underneath the flyover inwards Igondo is also very good to go. Vehicular movement is very much in good shape from Vokes down to Trade Fair. That's on both the service lane and the main carriageway. There is moving traffic at Abule Ado on the main carriageway due to pedestrian crossing and, of course, activities of commercial buses there, while the service lane is still looking good. All through that corridor, no major breakdowns can be cited. You can join the conversation this morning as well on 091-5387-7127. That's 091-5387-7127, and of course 08099-120777. All right then, so we'll talk about gated streets. Let's switch gears a bit, because I know one of the things that you've also talked about recently is the e-call-up system within the Lekki corridor and the integration of the commercial buses into that particular scheme. Talk to me. How is that faring, by the way?
Yes, let me start with the integration of the buses, commercial buses running on the Lekki corridor from Victoria Land to Eleko Junction. Based on the bus reform initiative, where we have planned and we're implementing that buses that will run on that corridor and on the main highway will be high capacity, or the least that we would allow is a medium capacity bus, so that the small ones, the called Koropes, will be limited to the inner
roads,
inner arterial streets.
Okay.
So but we would have to capture all the buses, whether it's currently running in the inner arterial roads or the ones running on the highway, in a kind of net. One, the vehicles must be road worthy.
Okay.
As we speak, we have about 8 operators that have been considered for that project, who have met part of our requirements. Their buses are undergoing inspection.
All right.
Because the buses must be okay. Now, concurrently, we are also intervening and checking the drivers to have they gotten a driver's license. Do they have a LASDRI card, that is the Lagos Drivers Institute card? They should have that, because that is part of the requirements for drivers who are plying Lagos routes.
All right.
Part of what we're doing also is to ensure that these vehicles have the necessary documents, the vehicle license, the parking permit, the roadworthiness. So we have, a kind of collaboration amongst all the agencies in the ministry. We're doing a kind of one-stop shop. So when a vehicle comes, the vehicle is inspected, somebody's checking the driver, and the agency, MVA, Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, is also there to ensure that the vehicles have their papers. So what we're doing now is that first we check we check all I've said, the vehicle, the driver, and the documents, and we let them know what is lacking. Then in a month's time, you come back with your fleet. So we schedule dates for different operators to bring in their fleet, and we check, let them know what is missing, and for them to do the needful. And thereafter, we will now, commence the program.
All right. Okay, then 08099120777. That's the numbers. 091-5387-7127. Those are numbers that you can use to connect with us this morning. If you want to have your say on the program, you want to speak with the Director of Transport Operations, he's here, and of course, he's here to respond to any of your concerns as well. We're talking all things transportation this morning, and of course, he's here to take your questions as they come in. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. How does the system, talking about the Lekki system, how does it ensure compliance of truck drivers and other road users? You didn't put your name? Okay, so compliance, how will it ensure that?
Well, LASMA is there to ensure compliance, and we're talking of two different things. One, I've spoken about the harmonization of the commercial buses, on that corridor. Now, the other one is the e-collop system.
Okay.
And simply put, is the scheduling of the movement of trucks in and out of that corridor. We have the Dangote refineries, we have Lekki Deep Seaport, and we have other entities that does haulage on that axis. So if we just allow things to work without putting control measures, there will be chaos, and we don't want the chaos that's we've experienced in Apapa and Tinkan area to occur over there.
Is it operational yet, the e-collop system in Lekki?
Everything is set.
It's set.
We would commence enforcement anytime from now.
Oh, okay.
Because we need to make some people do what they should do, and the only way we can do that is by enforcement.
All right.
Because already we have the parks where the trucks would have to, go and park before being called to their final destinations. The app is ready, and we have everything set, and all the entities there, as I said earlier, Dangote Refinery, like a Deep Seaport, like a Worldwide, they have keyed into the program.
All right.
And it's for the trucks now to get their RFID tag. So let me quickly run you through how it works.
Yes. So tell us, what's the process?
For example, I want to get a container from Lekki Port. I have a truck. I can't just drive down to that area. I have to log into the app. I log into the app. The app confirms if I have that order. If truck with so number is scheduled to pick a cargo and the driver's name.
Okay.
So if it is confirmed, the app will now direct me to a park where I'll first go before I'll be directed
to come into the park to come pick the cargo. All right, this one.
However, okay.
Yes, go ahead.
However, the truck must have what we call RFID tag.
So there must be a tag.
The tag must be on the truck, because without that tag that interacts with the barrier at the truck park, you won't be able to go in.
Okay.
So, and there's also a barrier at the final destination, so everything must interact.
Right. Okay, then let me see. Take some calls and of course some reactions as well. 080-99120-777, 091-5387-7127. Hello there. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is last man manager Odiebo from Akpokpon, Eco Bridge End.
All right. Go ahead.
Like we have earlier reported construction and rehabilitation work are going on at by NEPA, Eco Bridge by NEPA, in what John in Akpokpon. And the traffic emanating backward constrained end. But I assure you, our men are very much on ground at that location. Because of motorists coming behind, I see a little bit of traffic. So nothing to worry about. It's just a moving one at that end.
Okay.
Just to quickly update you this.
All right. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
All right. So the Akpongbo end did hear from the traffic manager there. It's receiving attention as well. This one says, good morning. It is a good initiative from the Lagos State government. So what are the key success recorded since the system's launch? John Chidi is sending that one in. John Chidi, I can say it has not been launched. Am I correct? The Lekki e-collab system.
It has been launched.
It has been launched?
But, it's in phases.
So John is asking, what's the success rate? So far, so good.
Well, the success rate is that for now, the entities that we want to serve, that is, when we talk about entities, I'm talking about Dangote refineries, Lekki ports, and whatever, have bought into this project.
Okay.
And we already have the satellite truck parks that have been invested in by individuals, by the private sector. They are set.
Okay. So
and some of the truckers are coming to get their RFID tag on their trucks, because they know that when enforcement commences, they will not be able to go into any of those parks if they have not booked and if they've not gotten RFID tag to direct their movement with technology.
All right. This one says, are there plans to expand the e-collab system to other parts of Lagos? If yes, what is the right frame? Elijah Nofisat from Oshodi. Or what's the time frame rather? Elijah Nofisat from Oshodi. So do we have plans to expand that beyond Lekki to other parts of Lagos?
Of course. The e-collab system is particularly for haulage purposes. So if there are areas in Lagos too that we have issues with congestion or the movement of trucks in and out of a particular corridor, of course we extend the e-collab system so that we don't just want the repeat of the Abapa and environs, the experience, the environmental nuisance, the depreciation of property and other nuisances. We don't want a repeat at the Lekki area and wherever. So if there is need, we will do. But if she's talking about the harmonization of buses along the Lekki corridor, of course we're doing that. That's phase one.
Okay.
That is integrating with the bus reform initiative that our sister agency is championing, that is Lamata. So that particular harmonization of bus operators along the operations along the Lekki corridor is done in line with the bus reform initiative of Lamata. And as we speak, Lamata is also commencing the infrastructure requirements for 8 quality bus corridors, 8 QBCs all over Lagos. So some corridors have been selected in the state, for that, face. Yes, for that purpose.
Let's talk a bit about the unions. Are they under your purview as well? The unions?
Sure.
The transport unions?
Yes. Part of my purview is to ensure that we manage all unions that fall under the transport space.
You mean it in Lagos here?
Yes. Please.
So what's the latest with them? Because I know before now they've always had one or two issues with rival unions, inter-union rivalry and all of that. The issue of the unions always causing traffic as well. Instead of doing their thing at the garages, they come to the roads, collecting their tickets and all of that. Ticketing their members, and that adds to the mix. So what's the latest with that?
Well, we still had a meeting some days ago, specifically I think it was on Thursday. If you noticed, there has not been issues with rivalry in the last maybe 6 months in Lagos. It's been peaceful, whether it's with the National Union of Road Transport Workers or with Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. It's been, kind of peaceful. And that can be attributed to the understanding, the collaboration that we have with the unions. And we're discussing, it's gradual. The unions have done a lot, in ensuring that, the challenges caused by some guys who go on the road to collect monies, especially that of haulage.
Right.
If you go from my two to to the port now, you can't find people stopping.
You mean all those extortion points they've been dislodged?
Those extortion points have been dislodged. And from my two towards Janiki also. So we're working with the unions, and we've come to an understanding that we do not want people there. However, because of lack of garages, parks, what we're doing is that we're looking at areas where we can, acquire and, be able to make good use as a garage or park.
All right. Okay, so there's an area I would like you to attend to. Areas like Yanosashi, Yanoba, all those corridors. I think your team will need to visit those locations, because a lot of times when we get the reports, it's always a case of members of the motor unions doing their thing on the road, also adding to the mix in terms of the traffic that is built up within that corridor. So maybe you need to visit that location for more inspections. Is that correct?
Can I say something?
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, sometimes it is not just about the unions.
Okay.
And it's not just about transportation. There are security implications too. So if it's not just there are some thugs, there are some criminal elements who live in some areas, and they are warlords, and they take over the roads in the area.
At that location,
of course, we are working with the security agencies to curtail that.
All right.
So it is just beyond transportation. There are issues with security.
Let's take this home this morning. So what's your message this morning as we round up the program? What's your message to Lagosians as relates to transportation, especially in the year 2025?
Well, for all Lagosians, we appeal to you that let us abide by the guidelines, the traffic rules, and all that we need to do to ensure that movement is with ease, it's safe, it's secure. And for Gated Street especially, please don't just put up gates anywhere in the state. Come to us, we'll guide you. There may not be need for that gate. And for those in the transport sector, especially the operators, the government has a lot for you. So just ensure that you work with the state so that we can move people from one point to the other freely. And for private car owners, please obey traffic rules.
All right, then we'll leave it at that for now. Engineer Ojewuro, it's always a thing of joy having you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you too, I'm grateful.
All right, so on the program, Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives, we looked at transportation and matters arising, and Engineer Olasukomi Ojewuro is Director of Transport Operations. He's been able to take us to the classroom this morning from the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. We have to go. The program has been produced by Dayo Anthony. Also in the building as well, Favor Moma, and to our social media team, Okwaimi Shodunke, not forgetting Afe John. All right. Benita Olame also in the building as well. Our executive producer is Taya Akonle. And how can I forget the Director of Public Affairs for the Ministry of Transportation, Bolanle Oglola. Thank you so much for working tirelessly behind the scene for this program to be on stream this morning. All right, so next Tuesday, Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives make a return by 9:15. But till then, I'm Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.
It's that time of year when we all start to plan our next holidays, and you're spoiled for choice with Emirates. Fly better to over 140 destinations and connect to over 1,700 more with their partners across the world. And what a way to travel, with bars in the sky, onboard showers, and award-winning in-flight entertainment.
Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu receives new Lagos Assembly Speaker. Principal officers pledges harmonious relationship with legislature. Labour Housing Ministries urge National Assembly to raise 2025 budget allocations. On the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump pardons nearly 1,600 Capitol riot defendants, orders U.S. to leave World Health Organization. And in sport, tennis world number 3, Coco Gauff's 9-match winning streak ends in Australian Open quarterfinals. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has received the new Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Meranda, and new principal officers of the House. The Speaker and the principal officers were received by Governor Sanwo-Olu and his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, during a courtesy visit shortly before the commencement of the weekly State Executive Council meeting at Lagos House, Ikeja. Governor Sanwo-Olu led the Speaker and her delegation to the Council chamber, where the Speaker and the State Executive Council members pledged to continue a harmonious work relationship between the two arms of government in the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu congratulated Miranda on her election as the new Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. He said the emergence of 44-year-old Miranda as the first female speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly is well-deserving and commendable. Governor Sanwo-Olu sought continuous support from the legislative arm of government for speedy consideration and passage of bills that would see to the implementation of the numerous programs of his administration and delivering the dividends of democracy to millions of Lagos residents. Lagos State generated over $71.6 million in revenue across tourism, hospitality and entertainment sectors during the December 2024 season. Special Advisor to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Tourism, Arts and Culture, Idris Aregbe, stated this during the review of the Lagos State dated December 2024-2025 report with officials of Tantakam experimental projects and other stakeholders. Aregbe, who also commended the report released recently by the MO Africa Consulting on the impressive millions of dollars revenues generated from the dated December, said tourism remains a vital driver of economic growth and cultural preservation for Lagos State, with the ember season playing a key role. He recalled that during the season tagged dated December, hotels alone accounted for over $44 million, while short-let apartments contributed over $13 million, underscoring Lagos' immense economic potential as a destination city. According to Aregbe, beyond the economic benefits, December in Lagos has become a platform to celebrate Nigerian arts, culture and music on a global stage, thereby fostering community spirit, strengthening ties with the diaspora, and reinforcing Lagos as a destination of choice for cultural tourism. The Lagos State government said it will demand the mandatory provision of CCTV cameras and in buildings of 6 floors and above as a prerequisite for the issuance of planning permits. Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, who made this known, said the initiative will also cover all commercial buildings in Lagos State, which would equally be mandated to provide CCTV cameras as a requirement for their approvals. Olumide said Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu approved the initiative to bring about enhanced security and balance public safety with physical planning considerations within the state. He said to ensure consistency, the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, LASPA, would establish standardized specifications for CCTV camera systems and direct regular maintenance and inspection schedules to ensure camera functionality. Olumide said the agency will also mandate property owners to always make the footage available to the state security agents on request. He enjoined all stakeholders to support the initiative, which is in tandem with the smart city ideals and the Themes Plus agenda of the Lagos State government, geared towards achieving a livable, organized and sustainable Lagos. Telephone subscribers in Nigeria will pay more for data and airtime as the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) approved a 50% tariff increase for telecoms operators in the country. NCC spokesman Ruben Moka, in a statement, says the price adjustment, though lower than the over 100% requested by some network operators, was arrived at, taking into account ongoing industry reforms that will positively influence sustainability. Moka says the increase is pursuant to Section 108 of the Nigerian Communications Act 2003 to regulate and approve tariff rates and charges by telecommunications operators. He added that the NCC recognizes the financial pressure faced by Nigerian households and businesses and remains emphatic to the impact of tariff adjustments. Now to the rest of the stories. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, and his Housing and Urban Development counterpart, Ahmed Dangiwa, have appealed to the National Assembly for increased budget allocations to deliver on their ministry's mandates. The Labour Minister, Dingyadi, called for more budgetary allocation for 2025 to enable the ministry to scale up the performance of key areas of its mandate. Dingyadi noted that the fund would be particularly used to renovate, reconstruct and re-equip the skills development centres under the ministry and its agencies across the country aimed at generating employment. He noted that the total budgetary allocation of 46 billion naira for the ministry and its parastatals this year would not be sufficient to attain set objectives. On his part, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, urged the Senate Committee on Housing to allocate more funding to the ministry to execute 7 critical programs of the housing sector. He named the projects to include the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates Housing Program, Slum Upgrading and Urban Renewal Program. Both ministers spoke in Abuja at the 2025 budget defense meetings with the House Committee and the Senate Committee on Employment, Labour and Productivity. The World Bank has imposed a 30-month debarment on 2 Nigerian companies, Viva Atlantic Limited and Technology House Limited, alongside the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Norman Didam, over alleged corrupt practices. The debarment bars them from participating in World Bank Group finance projects and operations. A statement by the Washington-based bank says the sanction follows findings of fraudulent, collusive and corrupt practices connected to the National Social Safety Net Project, NSSNP, in Nigeria. The NSSNP was established to enhance Nigeria's social safety net systems by providing targeted financial transfers to poor and vulnerable households. Meanwhile, the bank says investigations revealed serious breaches of its anti-corruption framework in the 2018 procurement and subsequent contract processes involving the companies and the chief executive officers. Now to foreign news. United States President Donald Trump has granted pardon to nearly 1,600 of his supporters who stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021, in a bid to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Trump, just hours after taking office, also ordered that all pending criminal cases against Capitol riot defendants be dropped. Describing the rioters as hostages, Trump said at a White House signing ceremony that he had granted full pardon to more than 1,500 defendants. A total of 1,583 people were charged in connection with the assault on Congress by Trump supporters seeking to disrupt certification of Democrat Joe Biden's election victory. Trump earlier signed a flurry of executive actions, including starting the process of withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization and declaring a national emergency at the southern border. Now sport. Tennis world number 3, Coco Gauff, has had her dreams of a maiden Australian Open crown dashed in a 7-5, 6-4 defeat to Spain's 11th seed Paula Badosa on Rod Laver Arena. Gauff said she was disappointed but not completely crushed after a scintillating start to the year came to an abrupt halt in the quarterfinals at Melbourne Park. Her 9-match winning streak to start 2025 was ended in style by Badosa, who dominated after taking a tight first set. The 20-year-old American said she was more mature now after playing in her 9th Grand Slam quarterfinal and would not be beating herself up about the loss like she might have done earlier in her career. Gauff said it was a very different feeling to her last slam defeat, a 4th round 3-setter to Emma Navarro in New York last year. And that ends our news at 10. Just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch your news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sowolo administration compensated 263 residents affected by a Red Line Rail project right of way? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has received the new Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Miranda, and new principal officers of the House. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, and his Housing and Urban Development counterpart, Ahmed Dangiwa, have appealed to the National Assembly for increased budget allocations to deliver on their ministry's mandates. We also told you that United States President Donald Trump has granted pardon to nearly 1,600 of his supporters who stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021 in a bid to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And in sport, tennis world number 3, Coco Gauff, had her dreams of a maiden Australian Open crown dashed in a 7-5, 6-4 defeat to Spain's 11th seed, Paula Badosa, on Rod Laver Arena. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbolagun. I am Dele Agadumu. Good morning. Thank you for listening.